I know I have my glasses on. I'm going to be reading, and I have little old lady lies? Eyes, yes. What is up, guys? I'm kneeshuuh and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing my fourth anti-haul and talking way too much, so if that's something that you're interested in, keep on watching. Alright, so the first issue on our list is the MAC Tempting Fate collection. So there is an 8-pan Feast Your Eyes palette that has 3 new textures. I don't know any of the prices on this. They haven't been announced like as of recording. I'll update them somewhere on the screen if they come out by the time I edit and put this up, but for now, sorry. There are 6 lipsticks, like the bullet lipsticks. They're all new. No repackaged permanents. They're all new in Burnished Beige, Avant, Dusty Grape, Tarnished Reputation, On a Petal, and Bitter Sweetie. Next are the eye kohl's. All of these shades are also new. There's 3, but you know all of them. So we have Pine for Me Hunter, Better Than Beige, and Cobalt? I'm having an issue speaking today. And Cobalt Coal. Next is the Strobe Face Glaze Iridescent Glossy Blush. These are also all new shades in Rose Gold Glow, Barracoca? Barracoco or Barracoca? Barracuda? Who am I? And then Pumpkin Spice. So first off, the packaging is very pretty. Like, it's kind of has like a Renaissance painting art style, but like with the flora and the pomegranate. Kind of makes me think of like Persephone from, you know, Greek mythology. But MAC had me in the first half, not gonna lie, with the first picture that I'm gonna show. But sadly, Ulta's pictures tell the truth. So if you look here, it's definitely like less saturated, and it kind of looks like just kind of every fall palette ever. Like, oh, some nudes. Oh, a berry. Oh, an olive. Wow. You know, Ulta's photographers are the most honest people alive. You know that riddle where there's like 2 guys in front of like 2 gates, and one always lies and one always tells the truth? The one that always tells the truth would be an Ulta photographer. That was a horrible description of that riddle, and also very long-winded and not funny, so I'm just gonna move on. Don't be fooled by like pretty packaging and advertisements, I guess, for lack of better words, because that's the thing. That photography was MAC trying to get us, so I understand why they did it that way, but just this really is just like a case of like Instagram versus reality, you know? Thank you, MAC. Don't need it and I'm not gonna buy it. Next, I have 2 Colourpop releases, you know, a good old double dose. So there's the Colourpop Astrology collection, which are 12 of their 4-pan palettes that are $9 each. There's no like full collection bundle, so all 12, but there are 4 of like the sign clusters, you know, like the air, fire, earth, water. I almost said wind. Wind and air are the same thing. Air, fire, earth, and water. Those are all $27 for 3 palettes, so you don't really save much money there. But I don't want to, quote, as Colourpop puts it, collect my sun, moon, and rising signs in eyeshadow palettes, even though for me it would only be like 2 palettes because I have a Leo sun and a Leo rising. Do with that what you will. The palettes are cute, but I feel like the makeup community is kind of done with like these large themed collections, kind of like the BH Cosmetics, their birthstone collection that they're coming out with every single month this year. There was a lot of flack that BH Cosmetics got because the January Garnet palette and the July Ruby palette had a lot of overlap, especially like the one big shade they had. It was essentially the same shade for both months. So what was the point of getting that month? I feel like that's the issue with like big collections, even if they're just 4 eyeshadows or 6 eyeshadows. It comes to a point where it starts to feel repetitive because there's only so many eyeshadows, but also, especially with astrology, whenever it's based on like signs, there's only so much you can do with like fire. What do you have? Orange, red, yellow, and neutrals. You know, water, blue, purple, maybe green, and some neutral. Like there's only so much you can do in different palettes, but then try to give everyone a little bit of everything. That way they don't have to buy all the palettes. It just kind of, it helps everyone, but it also helps no one, because then what's the point of buying all of them, you know? So I just feel like as a whole, the beauty community is kind of like done with the big, large themed things. But also Colourpop did a Zodiac collection with Kathleen Lights a couple years ago, and it kind of was like a similar theme where each of the signs got a different like loose pigment. But then if you have all the loose pigments, there's only so much you can do with like a loose pigment. Like I think that like Leo was gold, and then there's a gold in this palette, you know? So what's the fact that they correlate so much means that there's only so much you can do with it. So whenever you try and go for it again, or you try to do multiple things, it just kind of, it all repeats at some point. And I just feel like I feel like they're just kind of, I just feel like they're trying to hit all the marks of what's trendy, and like astrology has been trendy for like a while, yes, but I think they're trying to hit a lot of like the new up and coming like Gen Z that are just getting their first jobs, just starting to get into makeup with their, you know, Y2K collection that was very on trend for both Gen Z, since it's Y2K fashion is becoming a trend, but also with millennials since they lived through Y2K. It didn't really hit me. I'm Gen Z, but I don't remember much of the 2000s, so much of the early 2000s, so there's nothing nostalgic for me, but also I'm too old to get back into that trend because I'm not fresh out of high school. So I fall in like this little mix where I'm just like, I know, but I'm not interested. I know, but it doesn't work for me. And like astrology, I like astrology, it's interesting. I don't know why I'm on this tangent right now, or where this tangent is going even, but I just feel like this is getting too, I just feel like this collection is too repetitive, like for its own good. It was too big for its own good. If they did what Benefit did with their Horoscope collection, but did it successfully and actually had 4 and every sign, and it's eyeshadow, so make it for a broad variety of skin tones, please. If they did it like that, where there were like 4 eyeshadow palettes that kind of hit the mark of like fire sign, earth sign, water sign, air sign, I think that would have been better in the long run. I think that would have been a more accessible collection overall, but whatever. Now we're on to the second Colourpop collection that I'm going to be talking about, and keeping up with that theme of like too big of collections getting repetitive, it is the Heart of Gold Super Shock Shadow Fault. It's another Colourpop and Disney launch, and it's 12 new shades based on 12 Disney princesses for a bundle of $62, or all the shades are sold individually for $7. I don't really like the Super Shock formula. I do have a Super Shock eyeshadow panned in my Pan That palette, but that's my Pan That palette. I don't really reach for Super Shock shadows, so like as a concept, this isn't good for me. But also like, if you look at the collection, it's a lot of soft blues, soft golds, and like a couple of soft pinks. There was so much you could do with like all the different colors, but I think they wanted to keep it light and airy for like the Disney vibes and the Disney princesses. But again, it's like, how many soft gold Super Shock shadows do we need? How many light blue Super Shock shadows do we need? How many soft pink Super Shock shadow do we need? So it's too big. I think it's a good launch as a concept. Just a Super Shock Shadow Vault, got it. If they were to make it like 6, I think it would have been better. More condensed, more thought out. Yes, you have to cut back on the princesses. Maybe just get more pigmented shadows, because they do have some really pretty Super Shock shadow shades. They aren't all glitter. Like, not all of the Super Shock shadow shades in, God, I hate Super Shock shadow shades. All the Super Shock shadow shades in Colourpop's Colourpop's repertoire of Super Shock shadow shades. God, take a shot every time I say Super Shock shadow shade. Don't, you'll be dead. But they have more than just like this satin shimmery finish. They have like mattes, they have like iridescence. Like if they had more variety also in like not just the colors but also in the type of shades there were, I feel like that would have been better. Even if you want to keep it all like shimmer, make some like a really blinding thing, make some like a duochrome. Like if you made the Aurora Super Shock shadow shade a like pink to blue duochrome, I know they exist, I own some, like that would have been amazing, and it would have been very on brand, and it could still be the soft pink to the soft blue. It didn't have to be like the soft gold or whatever I think it is, you know? Yeah, that's really my thought. I just feel like they played it too safe. And by playing it too safe, you made it too repetitive. So thank you, Colourpop. Don't need it, not gonna buy it. Next is the Huda Beauty Wild Obsessions collection. So there are 4 palettes. There's like a pink one, like a smoky gray one, a green one, and like a nude one, and they're $29 each. I have one, count it, one of the Huda Beauty Obsessions palettes in like the medium nude from like the first nude Obsessions that they like released. And I really wanted the red one that they had in their jewel collection a couple years ago. But I feel like the 9-pan palettes that Huda Beauty comes out with like as a whole are kind of overdone and overhyped. I've seen a couple people that like complain because it's like, oh, these are 9 eyeshadows that are made in China for like half the price of like the bigger palettes that are made in Italy or made in the USA or wherever they're made. So it's better quality for more shades and yada yada, a better price. And it's like, I do and I don't care where my eyeshadow is made. I don't think that just because a eyeshadow is made in China means it's bad. And I don't think that just because eyeshadow is made in Italy or the USA means it's automatically good. It's personal preference. So I don't think that the 9-pan eyeshadow palettes aren't worth it because of that. I think they're not worth it because she puts out so many, but they accomplish so little things. Like she came out with like a brown collection and they all had like the same thing except for, I'll put another picture here, but like they came out with like a brown collection. It's like, what really is the difference between like, this is a little more yellow, this is a little more dark brown, this is a little more camel. And it's like, even with these like big collections that she comes out with, like the most different, the 2 palettes that I would say are the most different in this collection would be the pink and the green one. The other 2, the smoky and the beige, she has those a million times over. You could even argue that she has the pink and the green one because of the jewel collections, and from a couple of like, from the jewel collections, from the neon collections, like she's come out with so much that whenever she comes out with a new one, it's like, you've released this, but rearranged differently and with a couple of shades switched out with another one. So I don't see the point. Also, my throat's a little scratchy. I don't know if you know, but I live in the Bay Area of California, and there are fires to like the north and the east. Never eat right away. Yes, north and the east of us. They're like an hour and a half to 2 hours away, so we're not in any like immediate danger, but the smoke does fill the air and it kind of blocks out the sun a little bit, and it just makes my voice a little scratchy, hoarse. I did go and exercise outside yesterday instead of going to like the gym, and I wore a mask even while outside to try and help, but it still like didn't quite work. So that's my tangent there. But thank you, Huda Beauty, but I don't need it and I'm not gonna buy it. Next, oh, this one hurts me in my soul. This is the Morphe and Coke Round 3 Cherry Coke collection. So there is the Cherry Coke Artistry palette that is $24 for 18 shades. There is the Cherry Coke Lip Glaze in Sipping Pretty, that is $10. The Cherry Coke Lip and Cheek Duo, which is $20. So there's the same lip product, that lip glaze in Sitting Pretty, and a blush. But the blush is only sold in the bundle instead of separately. But the lip glaze is sold separately. I don't understand, but whatever, we're moving on. And then the Cherry Coke 3-piece sponge set, which is $15. This palette could have been released by Too Faced, and I would not have known And honestly, that is not a compliment to Morphe, that is more of a dig at Too Faced, honestly. The tin palettes are out of trend, they seem cheap. This collection comes somewhat soon after round 2 of this like Morphe and Coke series. Because they had like Coke 1971 or 3 or whatever that was more like hippie themed or whatever. But the round 1, the first time they ever released a Coke collection was over a year ago. It seems weird to have the first one, wait a year, have the second one, and then 2 months after that second one have a third one. And then also like, wow, a neutral and berry toned palette released in fall? Color me shocked. In the vein of that like crappy little 18 pan tin not Too Faced Colourpop Too Faced palette. I don't know where I'm going. I'm trying to make fun of both, but I can't. But here, how about I just make fun of Too Faced right now? There is the Too Faced Cinnamon Swirl palette. It is 18 shades. It's the same component for $49, and the Melted Matte Liquid Lipstick in Cinnamon Bun, which is $22. Now, Too Faced releases a similar palette with like this schematic like every year. You know, like they originally had like the chocolate bar collections, and then they had the, what was it, sweet peach collections, and now they're doing holiday, and so they had the pumpkin spice, the extra spicy, and now there's this. But it's almost become a bit of like a meme in the beauty community how bad Too Faced holiday quality is, because they only release these palettes once a year. They never release it again. You cannot get the Too Faced pumpkin spice, you can't get the Too Faced pumpkin spice, extra spice, whatever it was from last year. That's just what they do. And so it draws you in, because you're like, oh, it actually is limited edition. But since it actually is limited edition, they don't try. The formula is like notorious for being awful for like all of these palettes. They only work for like a couple people. It's just, it kind of is like the Too Faced Nikkie tutorial situation, where that was whenever it was revealed how Too Faced has 2 different laboratories. Why is this hand so shaky? Too Faced has 2 different laboratories. So for Nikkie tutorials, they knew that was going to be a big collection, so they used both to create the Too Faced and Nikkie tutorials collection. And then one quality was like really good, exactly what she showed in her video, and then one wasn't. And it came out that there were 2 different labs, and they have 2 different formulas, and they did 2 different things with it, because one was used to creating these low quality holiday limited edition collections, and then one was for the regular stuff. So whenever that came out, they were like, well, the veil's dropped, we're not even gonna try anymore. So instead of coming out with like these stackable, like, I'll show some pictures of like Too Faced holiday things that were like amazing concepts, like they were books, they were stackable like Christmas trees. Now it's like tin palette, take it or leave it. So if you are really drawn to this palette and the reviews are good somehow, or you don't mind like bad quality eyeshadow, you know how to work with it, you don't care, you just really like this palette, I can guarantee you that it won't sell out, and it'll be like half priced either on Too Faced website or Ulta or something just after Christmas. So if you can wait till after Christmas, wait till after Christmas. Next is the Kylie Cosmetics 24th birthday collection. So there is the eyeshadow palette that is 24 shades for $60. There is the Lip Shine Lacquer set, which are 4 shades, 4 like nude glosses for $45. There is an all over like eye and lip gloss that is $18. There's a liquid eyeliner do-over. There's a liquid eyeliner duo for $25 in 2 shades. It comes in a pack of 2 that are gold and rose gold. And then there is the, I keep saying and then, and then, and then.
No and then. No and then. No and then. No and then. No and then.
So, and then, God, there is the lip serum that is like infused with 24 karat gold things, whatever, for $17. There is a highlighter in Good as Gold for $24 and an all over body glow for $24. I will admit I was tempted by the lip set. I do enjoy Kylie Cosmetics formula. I haven't tried the new formula, but I didn't like the last formula just because the way that I wear lipstick, I layer things. So even though her formula was drying, I would put like a layer of lip gloss and then put another layer. That way it came out to be like a cream, and that's exactly what I have on right now. That's just what I do. I don't have a layer of gloss. I have a layer of gloss. I do like lip liner, lip gloss, and then liquid lipstick on top of it, and it just makes it more breathable and wearable for me. That's just what I like to do. So whatever, I didn't mind. I was kind of tempted to this until I saw the price, and then I remembered, oh, I have too many nude lipsticks anyway, so whatever. Palette seems kind of uninspired and should be half the price that it is. I think that I wouldn't pay $30 for this palette, but I would be okay if this palette were priced $30, if that makes sense. But that is like max like 35, you know, maybe 45 because you're slapping Kylie's name on it, but over $50 for this palette, no, that's a no for me. Sorry. I'm not going to mention how the highlight in Good as Gold looks like Fenty Beauty's cult classic Trophy Wife highlighter that was released 5 years ago, but oh no, I mentioned it. Next is the Vanity Makeup Cosmetics The Signature Palette. Now, looking at this palette, it's basic, it's pretty, good concept, it's neutrals, it's nudes, it's a staple palette. Everyone needs like a neutral nude palette, just even if you love color, just to switch it up with nudes one day, just in case. It's nice, it's 12 shades, it's okay, it's $95? No, I think this is also their first launch, and so like just coming right out the gate with that pricing is a little for me. So this was pretty much like lambasted in Trend Mood's comment section. No one really seemed to be happy like this. No one thought that it was worth the price. Is it a better bang for your buck than the Hourglass Cosmetics 5 single pan eyeshadows for $100? Absolutely. But that is not an accomplishment. That is kind of the norm. So thanks, Vanity Makeup Cosmetics, but I don't need it and I'm not gonna buy it. I've been very inconsistent with that this video. Whatever, it's for comedic effect, right? Last but certainly not least is the Urban Decay Naked Cyber. There are 12 shades for $49. I thought this was just going to be a straight duochrome palette, and I was so excited. I was confused that it was called Naked if it's just duochromes, but I was excited. And then I saw, you know, I swiped right and I saw, you know, the swatch shades and like just the palette up in general, and it's another light nude palette that won't work for anyone darker than my uncooked chicken skin. So there isn't much to say to like this description of like why I don't like this palette, why I don't need this palette, and why I'm not gonna buy this palette. Kind of like how there isn't much to this palette. So thank you everybody so much for watching. That was my anti-haul. This is the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know what you're anti-hauling down below, and leave a comment. Let me know what you want to see next. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.